Number talks have become quite popular in the last few years, but what most of you call number talks, I call number strings. I'm Christina Tondevold, the recovering traditionalist, and today I'd like to analyze number talks versus number strings in our quest to build our math minds so we can build the math minds of our students. Now, the first thing is that number talks actually started back in the 1990s with Kathy Richardson and Ruth Parker. Now, a lot of us became familiar with number talks through Sherry Parrish's book that was published in 2014. But from what I read in Sherry Parrish's book, that to me was more of number strings versus number talks. So, what's the difference? Well, to me, number talks are typically one problem. And we are talking about that one problem and all the different ways that kids solved that one problem. Number strings are a series of related problems that kind of lead kids into a particular strategy or a particular model. Now that leads me to the second difference, where in a number talk, I, as the facilitator of the number talk, am not using a particular model when I'm putting up student thinking. I'm only using a model if a kid says they use that particular model. If they say, I thought of it on a number line and this was how I did it, then I would show that. In a number string, there might be a particular model that I have in mind that I want to show the kids how it works on this problem and this problem and this problem, how it works every single time. So you can have a specific model in mind that you are facilitating the use of in a number string. Whereas in a number talk, it's more about how the kids are modeling and seeing the problem, versus in a string, you're kind of leading them into a certain model or a certain strategy. So that leads me into, when should you use which one? So to me, again, this is based upon how I've been using the two. You may disagree with me, so let me know in the comments, but to me, I like to use number talks when I'm working with a group of students who already have strategies. If I put up a problem, because you're just putting up one problem, and you get the deer in the headlights look, then the number talk may not be the best thing because they don't have different strategies, and so they are all solving it the same way. That makes it hard to do a talk about the different ways kids are solving it. So in a number talk, you've got to have a group of kids who have some strategies, and then you can talk about the different strategies and how they are alike and how they are different. That's one of the big powerful parts of a number talk, is that you're not just showing all the different ways that kids solved it, because that can be overwhelming for a lot of kids. To do a number talk correctly, you also need to make connections. If Johnny did it this way and Jose did it this way, we've got to talk about, how are those still alike? How are they different? What did he do that's different than what he did? But yet, how are they still connected? Because for our struggling kids, sometimes a number talk can be very overwhelming because they see 6 different ways that people solve the problem and they don't get any of them. So we've got to spend some time in number talks to be able to make connections between the different ways that kids are solving them. In a number string, I like to use those to help develop strategies. If I'm working with kids who don't have strategies already, a string of problems is super powerful to help build those strategies. So let's take a quick little look here. This is just one example, not, this can definitely be changed depending upon the grade level you work with, but I might start out with the string off to the left here. If my kids don't have a strategy or strategies for that bottom problem. So I might start out just showing 9 plus 7 and talking about how they solve that problem. Then I would show 29 plus 17 and see if they're using the same type of strategy. They may have a different strategy for that problem, but I want to make the connection that how they solve 9 plus 7 connects to how you can solve 29 plus 17. And then that connects to how you can solve 498 plus 267. And then I finally get to the problem, which is the stuff that I'm actually wanting my kids to develop at this grade level, is when I'm adding decimals, can I use those same strategies? You bet. But if they haven't made those connections, then I'm going to use a string to help bridge the gap between the things that they learned prior to the stuff I'm wanting them to learn now. If I just throw up 3 and 99 hundredths plus 17 hundredths, and they don't have strategies already, they haven't made connections, then I'm probably going to get every kid solving it the same way or not knowing how to solve it. So again, a string to me is a way to help develop strategies, whereas a number talk is to talk about the different strategies kids have for that one problem and how they connect together, how they're alike, how they are different. So I hope that that's helped you build your math mind so you can go build the math minds of your students. If you would like to learn more about using number strings, I use them as number strings, but I talk about them as number talks because most of you are familiar with number talks. So I try to go back and forth, but really, I'm going to be doing a training coming up that is 5 days of using number talks, aka number strings, to build students' fact fluency. There's one for addition for our pre-K to second grade teachers and one for multiplication for 3rd through 5th grade teachers. There's links below this video that you can sign up to participate in this free training. You're going to see me doing number strings, aka number talks, with some students. I'm working with 1st graders and I'm working with 4th graders to develop their fact fluency over 5 days. You're going to see me working with those kids. You're going to get the downloads of the number strings that I used, and you're going to get the information about how I crafted those number strings to build the strategy that I needed for those 1st graders and for those 4th graders. Because as I say a lot about number sense, that number sense can't be taught, it's caught. The same is true for strategies. We can't teach kids strategies. We have to help them catch strategies. And number talks and strings are a great way to help our kiddos catch strategies. So join me for the free training. I would love to have you see how I work with kids to develop their fact fluency through number strings and number talks. So have a great day.